Most men are now refusing to live with women. The situation has now become this bad. Today's video comes from Jermaine Chris. His channel will be linked in the description so that you can go and check him out. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of men now refusing to live with women. Go ahead and follow us on Rumble. You never really know what's going to happen on this platform, so go and follow us over there. Our Rumble is linked in the description of this video so that you can go and check us out there. Also, guys, I just want to tell you a little bit about the Crypto Trading for Dummies blueprint available in Angry's Crypto Academy. With this blueprint, you'll learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 with $100 or even hundreds daily, trading small amounts, working just an hour a day. It's written so simply that even a fifth grader can do it. With banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. Click the link in the description of this video to check it out now. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Jermaine, and today I want to talk about why you should think twice before living with a female. Actually, you should never live with a female, ever. And I know you see these marriages out there. Hey, let them do their thing. That's them. Let them do them. That's them. But you? Oh man, you don't want to put yourself in that position. I'm telling you, from someone who's done it before, from other people who've done it before, they'll tell you the same thing. Yeah. You got to realize that if you're going to live with a woman, you probably really like her. You probably really want to take her serious. And when you begin to take her serious, she becomes psychologically dangerous to the point where y'all going to end up driving each other insane if y'all are around each other 24/7. The more time away from a woman, the better, man. I'm telling you. And as a man, you should always be doing something. You should always be pursuing your purpose. You should always be chasing your purpose. You should never slow down and never lack. And living with the woman, I'm sorry to tell you, bro, it's a good chance that she's going to slow your ass down. It doesn't matter who you are, what kind of man you are, the amount of status you have, the amount of money you have. You got to realize that men and women are different. They think different. Mindsets are different. And I'm telling you, the more time she spends with you, the more psychologically dangerous she becomes. And she will lose interest. Living with a woman, she's around you 24/7, going to somehow persuade you that doing certain things are not as important as they actually are. For example, reaching your full potential in certain things that you know you should be reaching your full potential in. Oh, it's okay. No, you don't have to. And you don't want that. That's not good for you, man, because as a man, we have to keep going. We have to keep pushing. And by living with a woman and sort of being influenced by her way of thinking, not only makes you less of a man, she's eventually going to lose interest in you. And that's how you see over time. Divorce. Because you're falling for the trap. I'm sorry, but the modern woman makes men weak, man. They make men weak. You know what they're pushing for. So imagine living with her every single day. Now, there's a difference between, there are some married couples that are successful, stay-at-home moms. The guy's doing his thing. He's on his purpose. That's fine. But he's finding time for himself by being on his purpose, by leaving the house, but not always being with her 24/7. And a lot of men don't understand that, and a lot of women won't let you do that. A lot of men can't do that. A lot of men are not capable of living that type of way. So imagine you meet a girl and you got your own crib and she wants to live with you, or you want her to live with you just because you like her. Maybe you like fucking her, or maybe you want to wake up to some top. You know how y'all are. I know how it is. You want to wake up to some top. You want to wake up fucking. You want to go to bed fucking. You want to fuck in the middle of the day. I know. But all it is damaging to your brain, man. I'm telling you. It's gonna screw with your brain. It's gonna make you think. It's gonna make you start thinking her way. Because you want all this shit. You want her to be extremely submissive. You have access to her easily, and it's too much, man. It's too much. It throws you off your game. It throws you off your purpose. And I know it's tempting to get pussy every chance you get. Trust me. Coming from someone who, yeah, I love fucking all the time. So it's hard for me to do it. I can't live with a woman though. I can't jeopardize what I'm aiming for because I can't keep it in my pants or I keep thinking about it. This is what the importance of desexualizing your brain and not letting women sneak into your brain at certain points in your life, especially when you're chasing your purpose or you're trying to level up. It's extremely important, man. Eliminating pornography as much as possible. That shit is damaging, man.
Guys, here's the very interesting thing, and I've said this before, and I'm not the one who originally said this. Men have said this. You will, you will, you will never, you will lose money chasing women, but you will never lose women chasing money. That's something that you have to wake up to and understand and really comprehend. Okay. When you are chasing your purpose, you will never lose women. But when you are chasing women, you will lose money and you will lose your purpose. And when you lose your purpose, you will lose your way. And you should never make a woman your purpose. I'm being honest with you. You should always have a purpose greater than a woman, greater than your family, even greater than your children. I know you're like, angry now, you've lost me. Nope. Everything in this world is temporary. People are temporary. How many parents who only had one child, they lose that child, they lose their purpose in life? That's nonsense. I know it sounds harsh to say that, but you have to live for yourself and live for God. Okay? It does not mean that you do not love the people in your life, but you have to be practical and reasonable because nothing is forever in this world and everything can be taken away from you. Okay? And you have to remember that women don't love the way that men do. They can love the things that you can do for them. They can love things about you. They can love things that you have. They can love certain qualities, but they will never love you. You will always and forever be an ATM. And all they will ever truly want from you is your attention, your time, and your money. A woman's main focus when it comes to a man is obtaining his resources and then using him as basically or the relationship with him as a foundation to build her life. Once a woman has a good man at home, she's back out into the streets looking for someone else. Is every single woman like this? No. But the vast majority of modern women, this is how they think and this is how they behave. A lot of men go to the Philippines. They have a Filipina at home. The Filipina is so loving and sweet and kind and all of these things. Little do they know where she works. Guys come in sometimes, and sometimes they say, how much? It doesn't matter if she's working at a bar or a restaurant. This happens. Sometimes they will be propositioned and she does not say no. And she will go with them and have a relationship with them for the money. And a lot of men are absolutely shocked when they find out that she was doing this while in a relationship. Or they have a Filipina and they're dating the Filipina. They go over, they see her, everything is good, everything is gravy. Then they go back to the US and they think everything is cool. And then little do they know she's in a relationship with someone else. And when they're gone, she's going behind their back and having a relationship with them. And eventually, sometimes they like, she can't lie anymore. And she has to admit that, listen, bro, I'm like 3 months pregnant because she can't, or I'm 6 months pregnant. And she knows, like, if you come over there, you're going to see the baby bump. This is how, guys, this is how women think. This is how women operate. And of course, I've said this before and I've said it again. Like, all roads lead to Uncle Angry. All roads lead to Uncle Angry. All roads lead back to God. But again, when it comes when men go through things in this world and they experience various things in this world and they don't want to listen and they finally see it for themselves, all roads lead back to Uncle Angry and to the words and the wisdom that Uncle Angry has provided. A man in today's society cannot be in a solid relationship and live with a woman in Western society. It cannot happen. America is not a place. Australia, the UK, Canada, these westernized countries are no longer a place where relationships can exist. Even if you're in a relationship with a so called good woman, like a woman from the South and all of this, it doesn't matter because she is still an American woman. She is still a westernized woman. She might have a sweet accent, but as I've said, you're dealing with individuals who are functionally insane at best, and you never really know when they're going to go. A lot of men don't know that when a woman breaks up with you, she has broken up with you a long time before she physically a long time ago before she even physically breaks up with you. So mentally, she's already broken. She's already separated herself from you. She's already divorced you. She's already out of the relationship. You are no longer the man that she loved, that she wants, that she desires. That relationship was over years ago, sometimes even decades ago. You're like decades ago. Look at I think his name was it Judge Mathis. This woman, his ex, it's not an ex now. She's like taking him back. I don't know if that's gonna really last. She basically broke up with him and told him like, he was working too much, and it's like a 60-something-year-old woman, and she's like, "Oh, you've been working too much, and I told you need to spend more time with me. So now we're gonna end them. I'm now ending the marriage." And it's not because he was, cheating in the relationship. She just literally said that he was not available enough. Keep in mind, sometimes she would also be traveling with him. So he wasn't, and usually when he was like in the like when TMZ caught him in the airport, he said like, he's by himself. Usually his wife is with him because she would often travel with him. Yet she claims that he's not available enough. The reality is she don't want that old man anymore. That woman didn't want that old man anymore, and she psychologically had divorced him decades earlier. She was done with him a long time ago. She was only still with him out of convenience, okay? Because she likely figured it was more valuable to stay, it was more profitable to stay with him than to leave him. And what's sad is that Lil Bro would be shocked to then suddenly discover that, oh, the woman that he loved and and he thought that his number one and blah blah blah. She uh she had been physically intimate with a bunch of dudes, you know, over the course of their marriage. Many dudes while he was gone. And you know what's interesting about a lot of men? It's like their brains don't work. A lot of you guys are who are like, you have this, I don't know, it's like I just don't want to deal with you because like for example, you basically have a woman, you're in a relationship with a woman and she, you go on, let's say you go on a trip, right? And you go on a trip like our business, you're away for a while, and you somehow think that she's just going to be at home chilling and waiting for you. I used to live, like, for example, in a place where they had a naval base, and it was very common for the women, whenever the men were away, to cheat on them. We all knew what was going on. The Navy wives, the military wives, as soon as those sailors shipped out, those women were in the streets looking for a man to hook up with. It's sad. It pisses me off, but it's the reality. And then when their husbands are coming home, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I have to get my hair done." That's how women think. That's how women operate. It's hard. It's hard. It's painful. It's sad when you realize that women don't think like us. They process things through an emotional lens. That's why emotions, feelings are a currency for a woman. And wherever the wind blows, her emotions will go. And women are so volatile that any little thing can result in a dissolution of the relationship, you being thrown in jail for things that never happened because women will just invent things out out of thin air. A woman will basically spite her nose. She will basically, how does, I forget the saying goes, but it's along the lines of, going after the nose to spite the face or something like that. in the end, she will destroy everything around her just to get you, just to get back at you, and then be shocked when everything is destroyed. But that's, like I said, they don't process things the way that we do. Ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom, it's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.
Shit from the screen, you start thinking about it, and that's porn. That's the damage of porn. Even though it's fake. You should think long term before thinking about living with a woman. Think long term. What could possibly happen? May set you back a couple years, or in some cases, a lot of fucking years, depending on what things, certain things that would happen. Oh no, you living with a woman, you fucking her every day, you get her pregnant. Now you created a family. You didn't reach the full potential. You didn't reach the potential that you wanted to reach, and now your life changes. Everything shifts, and the girl begins to change over time. And they do. Don't tell me they don't, because they do. The evidence is there. They begin to change down the road. You thought the girl you met is not the girl down the road. And it's not the girl down the road, and you start to become less of a guy down the road because you fell for the woman. You want to be around the woman 24/7. You didn't think before using your dick, and now your life is screwed. Or it's not screwed, you're just set back extremely. And why would you want to be set back? Nothing wrong with adversity. Nothing wrong with getting through adversity. As I mentioned, people make mistakes. You make mistakes all the time. Men make mistakes. It's fine. But learning from your mistakes. You'll see a lot of people learn from their mistakes. You know, a lot of guys in their 40s and 50s, they've learned from their mistakes. They've made mistakes, but now they're living their best life, their happiest life ever. And that's what it's all about. That's what's important, man. But this is the truth. And I know a lot of you guys, you know, maybe you lived with your mom before. And it's just the same thing, man. You should always love your mom. Like, I love my mom with all my heart. You know, I wouldn't be here without her, obviously. You know, she's raised me really well. She's taught me a lot of things, but she knows I can't live with her forever. I couldn't live with her forever. I had to move out. I had to learn how to be independent as a man, especially as a man, and make my own decisions. It's extremely important. And your mother should understand that about you. You can't let your mother hold you back, man. You can't let her hold you back. You can't let any woman hold you back. As a man, you have to separate.
That's one of the most important things that a lot of men have to understand. As men, we have to separate. The new order of operations will basically be men walking away and living separately by themselves, and they may have relationships. Like I said, a passport king. You have like a woman. You basically you have a woman overseas. Maybe you get like a little cottage for her, build a little cottage where she lives, and you go visit her every so often. And you always know that she's probably cheating on you. You always assume that she's probably cheating on you, but you play it safe. And here's the thing: at least you can still go over there. You get to know her family, and that's how you roll. If you have to have children, find a woman overseas, find a woman in the Philippines, find a woman in another country where it's affordable. Learn how the laws work over there. Learn how child support works. Learn these things. Make sure sign documents. Get an attorney. I talk constantly about these things. Get an attorney and have them work and have them put everything in place to protect yourself before you make any of these decisions. Never marry her, never directly, never indefinitely cohabitate with her. Always have another place that you can go to. Always have a way out. Don't keep all of your things, all of your eggs in one basket. A lot of men don't like me. Tell you right now, a lot of men do not like me because I tell the truth and I tell you what not to do. And it's like I can't tell you what to do, but don't I'll say don't do this. And if you go out there and you get screwed, don't come back to me crying. I'm not gonna be daddy and hug you and rub. No, you're a grown man. I told you not to do this. You know how many men suffer to get this knowledge? Do you know how many men have lost so much so I can share this knowledge with you? The reason why I know so much is not solely because I've gone through because of the things I've gone through. I've gone through a lot and I've learned from my own mistakes. But here's the thing: smart men learn from their own mistakes, wise men learn from their own mistakes, as well as the mistakes of others. And unfortunately, a lot of you, no matter what I say, will go out there and make those exact same mistakes. And then only after you make those mistakes a bunch of times, that's only when you finally learn your lesson. I've come across guys who've been married 5 times, and it took them 5 times to learn their lessons. All right. 5 times to learn their lessons. You know something interesting? Like, for example, when I lived overseas in some countries, this is something common in places like India. There's places common in South America. This is common in Hispanic countries. You'll sometimes see people walking around, like men walking around, and they can't. Let's say they can't speak, and you don't know why they can't speak. The reason why they can't speak is because they no longer have a tongue, because the tongue was removed because they were liars, or because they did something very bad in their societies. Or sometimes you'll see guys walking around and you just see where their hand should be, you'll just see stumps. I've seen that. And most people will think, well, were they born like that? How did this happen? How did they end up like that? The reason why they don't have hands is because they stole something. They would constantly steal. The first time they did it, that was one hand. The second time they did it, there you go. So this, whenever you see a man, and this is something that a friend told me years ago, and that I saw it for myself. If you see a guy walking around with no hands, it means that they didn't learn their lesson the first time. That's the exact words that a friend from India told me. And then years later, I saw it and I didn't even realize, oh, that's why they don't have hands. Oh my gosh. That's why he doesn't have hands. He doesn't even seem that upset about it. Okay, he's a thief. He's an absolute. He's guys. I remember when because many of you guys know, over a decade ago, I went through extreme hardships when I was working on my first graduate degree. I ended up homeless, and I had to really suffer and struggle. And I finished the degree. I even did my I even did my had to do my defense for my thesis. It was crazy stuff. But the in the end, while I was out there, there was a guy who was blind, a blind man, and women used to be kind to him and try to help him, but he had a very nasty personality. And one day I was at one of the shelters where we would go to eat, and someone got pissed off, and a man said, "Listen to me, I'm gonna tell you exactly who this guy is." He said, "You see this guy right here? Do you even know how he ended up blind? He was out there with working with others, and he was stealing all around the area. He was a crook. He used to steal. All right. And one day they caught him, and basically something was placed into his eyes, and that's how he lost his vision. He was a thief, and he was out doing very, very bad things. So you have to understand, you have to learn how some people don't learn from their mistakes, and then it basically catches up to them. Modern women, God allowed them to climb and to rise to the top of the highest mountain so they could fall from the highest peak. And when they finally reach bottom the ground again, they're going to be shocked by the destitution and poverty that they're going to experience and the hardship they're going to witness as more men increasingly avoid them and avoid having relationships with them. And women don't know how to be kind to a man. Women don't know how to take care of a man. These women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. And even the ones who may learn, no one wants to eat food that doesn't have love in it. Okay, that's why women all around the world are going crazy over Kaya, because even women that do cook for their men, they can't cook like Kaya. They don't cook with love. They don't cook because they actually love that man or they actually care about that man. They don't put love in their food. You can see the difference between a plate of food that has love and a plate of food that has no love in it. Okay, and then when a woman makes food for you, she's gonna look at it like you're supposed to do, do give like, oh, you owe her something so special. You know something very interesting? The best chefs in the world are men. It's very difficult for a woman to become one of the top chefs in the world. It's like only like a handful of women. Maybe you can count them on. Maybe I can count them on a single hand. Are among the top chefs in the world because they are not willing to put into the same amount of work and effort that men are. You have people like Rachel Ray and Martha Stewart and these other people. You have to remember that while they are great cooks, while Martha is a totally amazing chef, she's a very good cook. She is basically a homemaker. She's slick. She's a maid. She's a great Rachel Ray. She's good at what she does. But these are not five-star chefs. A five-star chef is something else. Okay, it's literally like when you watch a Japanese anime or read a manga, and like it's like so extreme. Like they show you like all the things. Like it's about like people like a baker, but it's amazing because you learn all about how the process of bread is made, and this person wants to be the best baker in the world. It's really very much like that in a lot of fields where men basically fight and aspire to be the very best in these fields, and women are not willing to put in the same amount of work. That's the reason why you typically do not have fields that require a lot of investment that women dominate. Of course you have medicine, for example, but when women want something, then they will dominate a field. But beyond that, most of the time it just does not happen. All right, because and it's based on the choices that women make. Even when women go on to become doctors, guess what ends up happening? 4 years of undergraduate, 4 years of medical school, sometimes up to almost 10 years of residency for some of those specialties like in surgery. And after all of that, they're now in their 30s or in their mid 30s or even pushing 40 or already in their 40s, sitting around dreaming about having a baby and starting a family. And they believe that a good man is supposed to want them above a 20 something year old because they're a doctor and they have all of this experience and they have a great resume. This is how women think. They believe that every relationship is a job interview. They believe that going on a date is a job interview, and you better impress them. Guys, we're the employer. We're the one with the resources. That's why a woman is considered winning when a man says, will you marry me? Because she's the one who's winning. He's going to be providing and protecting her. And yet he's the one, yet he has to act like he's the one who wins. But it's over. 90% of men are refusing to even cohabitate with modern women today. They are absolutely cooked, and they're between a rock and a hard place. They did it to themselves. They're not going to come back from this. You're going to see extraordinary levels of poverty and destitution as Trump returns to the White House, because all of those programs that they rely upon are going to be gone, and they're basically going to have to face consequences for the choices that they've made and the way that they've treated men in Western society. These are not feminine individuals. These are masculine individuals. They know nothing about femininity. By the time a person is around 7 years old, their personality is more or less set in stone. It's not going to change. They cannot change. All right. They simply cannot change. That's their personality. These are masculine people, and they do not like us. They after being through in all of these relationships, having their hearts broken. they have nothing to offer, and they believe that they are goddesses that were put here to be served, and they despise us more than the cockroach. There's really nothing there. And guys, it took more than 50 years for us to get here. So it's going to take at least 50 years for everything to be fixed. Okay? I called it the Great V collapse, and that's what's going to basically happen. They took the V, dipped it in gold, put it on a pedestal, and said, "Worship me." And now they're going to fall off that pedestal like coming down from a cliff. And when they hit the ground, it's going to be shocking to them. I mean, it's going to be something like out of the Bible. They made themselves into false idols, and we know how God deals with idols. All right, we know how God deals with false idols. He will destroy them. Okay, and he will give them over. He will give them over to their madness. He will give them over to their destitution. He will send. He will send delusion and allow them to live within that delusion. It's the truth. Like they really have set themselves up for some seriously hard times. But let me know what you guys think. Are you surprised by this that most men are now refusing to live with women? Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away, and cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.